Having huge factual and informational resources, the cultural legacy of Uzbekistan in the World Collections Project has released 15 more volumes, in addition to 35 published book albums. Those, on the basis of creative understanding of unique Uzbek heritage, the project and scientists of the World Society for the Study, Preservation, and Popularization of this heritage made a real breakthrough, having published 50 volumes of this cycle within 5 years. A lot of facts related to the work of art, manuscripts, and their authors first published in the new book albums has become real discoveries. Uzbekistan in historical photographs. This volume includes photographs from the collections of the Russian Museum of Ethnography, the Institute of Oriental Manuscripts, the Institute for History of Material Culture of the Russian Academy of Sciences, the Russian Geographical Society, and the Library of Congress of the United States of America in Washington. Cities and architectural monuments, representatives of the ruling elite, scenes of everyday life, ethnic groups living in Turkestan. Their authors are August Einhorn, Samuel Duden, Hugo Kraft, Paul Nadar. The photographs taken in the 19th and early 20th centuries are evidence of the great interest and respect for this place. The richest cultural heritage of Uzbekistan has always been in the field of view of Russian Orientalists and travelers. Manuscripts of the famous canon Kitab al-Qanun fi Tib by the great Abu Ali ibn Sina stored in the libraries of Turkey. Avicenna's Canon of Medicine was copied from century to century in vast empires from Middle East to India. It was taken by caravans both to the west and to the east, and when the printing press was invented, the canon was the second printed book after the Bible. The great Dante wrote the great healer of the East in his Divine Comedy, and Leonardo da Vinci mentioned him in his Anatomical Codes. Illustrated works of Alisher Nawai in the collections of the world, this is another new volume. The originals, lifetime manuscripts of the classic, illustrated with unique miniatures in gold, are now kept in Russian National Library in St. Petersburg, in the British Library in London, in the Bodleian Library in Oxford, and the National Library of France in Paris. Separate volumes of new album books are dedicated to the samples of Oriental calligraphy and miniatures kept in private collections around the world, as well as Uzbek art in the collections of Poland and Great Britain. The 8 million exhibits of the British Museum include rarities created on the territory of Uzbekistan. Among them are the famous gold Amu Darya board, treasures on the Oxus, and Mirza Ulugh Beg State Cup with an inscription in Turkic. The generosity of God is infinite. The cup was created in Samarkand in the 15th century, and according to the assumption of British scientists, was first taken to Turkey and then ended up in the collection of the British Museum in 1959. Several volumes will introduce you to the collections kept in the Republic. This is the manuscript collection of the Nawai Library, the largest repository of manuscripts and books, the funds of which started to form up back in 1867, and the collections of the State Museum of Applied Arts and Handicraft History of Uzbekistan. This museum with a turbulent history is located in the historic 19th century mansion, Polovtov's house, and possesses extensive ethnographic collections. The books, albums, traditional Uzbek custom based on materials of museum and private collections of Uzbekistan represents the richest national heritage of the Uzbek people, the traditional custom and its regional features. Men's and women's clothing worn in Bukhara and Samarkand, in Khwarezm in Karakalpakstan. The 2-volume book albums present the best examples of customs and accessories from various Republican museums and private collections. The cities of Uzbekistan located on the Great Silk Road have played an enormous role in the history of world civilization, and they have retained their unique appearance to this day. You can immerse yourself in the atmosphere of the past by getting acquainted with the book albums, collections of the Ichankala and Kokand State Museum reserves. Unique miniatures that have preserved the appearance of the great emperors are for the first time collected in one album, Oriental Miniatures and Historical Figures. Once they were an adornment of rare manuscripts and were kept in the royal kitabkhanas for centuries, and today are rarities of the largest libraries and museums, from the Metropolitan Museum in the United States of America to the Rampuraza Library in India. Thanks to the selection made, the reader will be able to see a rare gallery of images from Alexander the Great and Amir Timur, the representatives of Timurid and Baburid dynasties. Prominent miniaturists, Kamaluddin Behzad, Mahmud Muzahid, Bichitter had never painted them from nature, however, filled with historical plots, miniatures with portraits of great emperors seem to open a veil over the mysteries of these personalities and their vast empires. New volumes accumulate a huge layer of research by scientists from many countries of the world, and their content and illustrative material, of course, one can see the centuries-old history of Uzbekistan.